Hello everyone, for those of you that have been following my Twitter, you'll notice that I've been talking about games other than Fortress Craft Chapter 1 recently. This isn't to say that Fortress Craft Chapter 1 is dead, it just means that I'm finally getting organised in my life to talk about other things. So today we're going to talk about Tactics Forever, where it is, what it is, and all of that fun stuff. As ever, I have with me my beautiful assistant, Izzard.
Hello.
And I don't think you've seen Tactics Forever, have you? Not...
I have, over the years, many times, but I haven't seen it recently.
Recently, okay.
It's changed a lot recently.
Okay, so the game is actually quite unusual. Now, what the interesting thing about this one is I get shouted at a lot by idiots who telling me I should write original games. And this game, as far as I know, is original. I don't know of any other game like it, so hopefully it's not going to crash.
Think tanks.
And it's nothing like Think Tanks. It's nothing like Void Hunters either. Ooh, it's a little bit loud, so I'm just going to turn the volume down a little bit on the game, so we don't end up getting drowned out by the spaceships. Not that the spaceship sounds aren't very good, but a little bit quieter. Okay, so the object of the game is...
BBC's famous Robot Wars game.
But you controlled the ships. Stop stealing my my patter. Patter? Not patter. So, the idea is that you build a spaceship out of components. And I was going to say what the goal of the game was, but then I realised there isn't really a goal to the game. So, it's a ongoing ladder-based game. So, a bit like, well, any ladder-based game, the objective is to get to the top of the ladder. But really, that's not going to happen for the vast majority of people. So a lot of it is just about playing it, and really I guess a lot of it is about being better than your friends. So I'm just going to put together a...
So you've only got to be better than 2 people then.
Actually, we've already had... we've got 13 beta testers on this right now. I am perhaps looking for more beta testers if people are interested. That's getting to the point now quite rapidly where we are going to be... actually selling the game. It's really very close to launch now.
Not for £250.
No, it's down. It's now down. It's now down to $100. So if you want to take part in the beta and you can't convince me, it is available. You can buy your way into the beta for a mere $100, which is about 60 quid. I'd like to say the game is completely worth that much money because it totally is. Should we put a sword blade on the front? Let's put a sword blade there, yeah. I think some more engines. I don't think the ship's going to go very fast right now.
That sword blade's really bad. I made you a perfectly good sword blade years ago. Circular sword blade that spins.
Actually, I think that's actually of Google image search. I think that's the only thing left for for Todd to redo.
Just use the one. Use the one I sent you.
I don't know if I've got a hole. I think that's got a thing at the top. I don't have a whole saw blade for that.
Oh, it has, but I think I've got the source file as well, so that layer can be taken out easily.
That would be handy. Right, so what I've done here is I've designed a ship. It's not really very good, but that doesn't matter. And I will now test it. So what this is the validation mode.
Doesn't even spin on its axis.
Oh, it crashed. God damn it.
I thought you commented that out.
This is a different crash. So we're going to just break here while I figure out what the hell was going on. If I can find Fraps, I'll have to edit that one. Oh god, that's not Fraps. There's Fraps.
Did it crash?
And we're back. So, yeah, little crash there. But as you can see, my ship has saved, so we can go back in.
It's easy for you to say.
It's not. And there's my ship, and now we're going to see how it fights. So this is in the simulator. And as you can see, although the game may crash in this very early stage of development, it is totally stable. The ships are still completely saved out to disk. So third time lucky, hopefully I fixed both instances of the wrong texture. So now I have to validate my ship. So this is the validation mode. This is essentially simulating my ship against... Oh my god, my ship is so bad. Look.
What's the background doing?
So this is a simulate. This is
right.
kind of a workaround. So the idea is this is not the game. This
Gotcha.
is your computer in a simulation world. But you'll notice we'll go through it. So you notice my ship's having a bit of a time turning and bringing its guns to bear. So that's probably quite an indication of how well it's actually going to do in a bit. So that's quite appalling. Now this is one of my issues with the game right now. Now, if you make a crap ship, you're stuck here going, why is my ship so crap?
Wallowing.
Yeah, this is my fault the ships are crap. It's nothing to do with the game. It's not because there's anything wrong with the game. It's because I did a very poorly designed ship. So, that's my fault. And that's something I need to work on, because I don't want people to get the game going, oh, this is crap. When what it actually is they haven't got good enough to make good ships. Not that I've got good enough to make good ships, apparently. So I'm actually going to fail validation, I believe. But that's okay, because we're in the debugger.
How do you fail validation?
If you don't kill the drone ship within 6 names. In 6 things. So, name, ship, headless. So I'm just going to go with, I'm going to pretend it did pass the validation. And now what we can do is we can go into the fight system. Now, in the fight system, you get to see, you have multiple choices. You can just scroll down and select a ship to fight against, like a Butcher Thomas ship there. You can see HK6 is really terrible. What on earth is he doing there?
Surprised Butcher Boy's ship isn't the size and shape of a cathedral.
Well, one of the ones he did on the Xbox looked like a skull. He actually made the eyes red and everything, but it was a really terrible ship. So we're going to go against Andy Rue's fight here. So we're actually going to fight against his ship. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I'm supposed to press A. Press spacebar, it does this. It's doing debug, so wrong button. That's my fault. That will be fixed when the game comes out. I think it's not picked up my ship name. Oh my god, my ship is so bad. I've left the core exposed. It's just...
So you're hoping to defeat the other ship by not showing it your spinning blade?
Pretty much. That's pretty much my entire plan. Wow, it's... Yeah, this... But, oh, look, Andy's ship's falling apart. It's all good, it's all good. It's not all good, is it? No, there we go. Andy's ship's falling apart. Eyes boned. Andy has this propensity for making ships just spin around and around and around, you see. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, I would fly right with the saw blades. Ouch. It's not looking good for me at all right now. My core's exposed. I have missiles coming in up from the back. Maybe I can pull it back. You never know. Yeah, not too bad.
That was quite fun, and I now want to play.
Well, you can. Like I said, it's available right now. However, so the beauty of the game comes going, right, well, obviously my ship, it doesn't really work, as we can see. Also, I'll set the names again, because it doesn't force a save, but once I validate it, it does. Now, what can I do to make it go quicker? I think if I angle...
Well, okay, so the problem was before that it didn't have enough turn speed, is that right?
Yeah.
And so what are you doing to address that?
What I'm doing is I'm rotating the engines so that they are facing perpendicular to the centre of mass.
He's pointing the engines out a bit, folks.
Well, if you imagine you've got a bottle of Coke on your desk, like a 2-litre bottle, and you wanted to push it along the desk. If you push it in the middle, it will fall over. If you push it at the bottom, it will slide along the desk. So what I'm doing is the effective equivalent of pushing it at the bottom. I think it's a really good simile. I'm going to go with that one.
Let's just hope this...
That's a bit better. Not brilliant, but a bit better.
Does it indicate where your centre of mass is?
No, well, the centre of mass is where it's kind of all the bits added together and then divided by the position of all the bits. Yeah, no is the easy answer. No.
So does everything weigh the same then in this?
Let's think. Weight, yeah, I think everything has the same weight. I think everything, in fact, weighs 1 because that made life a lot easier for people as well as for me. Armor pieces do have a lot of stats, which is very small text. I should probably fix that. So you've got the armor, which is the actual physical health points, and you've got the tensile strength. So some pieces, like the ramming prow, have a very high tensile strength, whereas other pieces have very low tensile strength. So you can actually design your ship to withstand impacts or to withstand firepower, depending on what your your game plan is for your ship. So let's give Andy's ship a bit more of... Let's see if it's still an improvement or whether I've actually made it worse. And see, I've got my name, so it's because I didn't save it.
Does the game have sound yet?
Oh, can you not hear it? It does have sound. Yeah, it's got loads of sound effects. They're all quite good. Every gun has a sound that impacts spaceships as like background ambience. Hopefully that will come through in the video, but if not, take my word for it.
Pew, boom.
But as I said, it has good sound effects.
Oh.
Now, so the game has, I don't know, 40 or 50 actual physics components. You also have 10 slots. So you earn experience points for fighting ships. But what I've done is I've tried to encourage people to actually take part in sort of the tourney, as opposed to just fighting your ships, seeing how they're doing, which I'll demonstrate now. So the best way to earn XP in the game is to set the game up to auto-fight. Oh, we've just got... Okay, so sorry about that. So part of the reason that we're at the state we are with the game is we're using the Amazon cloud services to actually store the ships, and that is brand new code. That's currently like the weakest point of the game. So that actually just crashed because it received some corrupt data down from the cloud. So yeah, I'm blaming the cloud on that one. But as I say, so you've got the concept of auto fighting. So what you can do, and this is so much fun. I've just hit auto fight. It will now pick a random pair of ships from a random tier of combat and fight them. And what this does is this actually gives the results of the battles. So this is actually how people, the ladders are actually put together. On top of that, you get XP for doing it. So I'm actually encouraging people to go through and do that. In answer to your question, the game does pretty much run at 60. If you don't like the graphics or you want it to run faster, you can press F11 and it turns off all the graphics. But yeah, it pretty much does run at a solid 60. I've got fraps running, so now it's locked to 30 rather than 60, which doesn't help the stability of the game whatsoever. Also, I've been watching two of the worst designed ships in the history of history. See, one of them should have put a saw blade on the front of it. That would have helped a lot. I'm hoping to put a lot of things like there should be a little picture of the ship in the corners. It's quite hard to tell now which ship is which. So if it's just a random pair of ships, I think Ninja's the one on the right and Andy's new ship's the one on the left. Oh, Andy, your ship is so terrible. Interestingly, this is quite a good tool for learning about physics because little things like... Well, no, it is, because little things like this guy hasn't put the engines facing backwards. So the ship has no way of braking or spinning. Things like that. So you actually learn how to push ships around by placing engines on them correctly.
As long as your enemy remains in one two-dimensional plane.
It's good for learning about two-dimensional physics then.
Right.
Two-dimensional is where it's out. It's cool, it's retro.
Well, it's semi-realistic, I guess. Space combat game.
Come on, do it, Andy. See, he's put all blasters on. He's not really progressed his ship. So, unfortunately, this is one of the issues I need to fix with the game. Is what happens when you just get two crappy ships? Because he's great. Now he's lost all the engines on one side. This is not going well for Andy's new ship. And at this rate, I suspect Ninja. Oh no! Oh, good shot. There we go. Yeah, so here's the results screen, which as you can probably see has not really been done yet. And that's me progressing forward. But now the game will literally just auto-fly, almost literally forever. It stops when you level up, but the idea is that you can just leave it going on overnight or whatever, and it will actually just progress. So you can actually do a few thousand combats in a night. You've gone silent, by the way, so I'm hoping you haven't...
Muting the microphone because it's a bit noisy here. So, is it the case then that the players' copies of the game are like crowd computing the results for the ladders?
Yes, that's really correct. And in fact, I should probably write that down somewhere and say that to people. But yes, think of it. Maybe I should call it Tactics Forever Mechanical Turk. Does the Mechanical Turk still going? I don't know if they stopped doing it.
Oh yeah, it is, yeah.
But yes, it's quite correct. I'm basically using people's, hopefully their enthusiasm to get experience as a way of bribing them into simulating more battles. I'm also hoping that as the testers continue to play the game, we don't end up with such quite awful spaceships in the league. So far, these have just been terrible. So every 60 seconds as well, all the guns double in fire rate because that stops permanent stalemates. It got to the point where people where they were putting like one missile on their ship and just completely covering it in shields, and then they would actually win eventually, just through default, which is not good for anyone. Your mother, she hits you in all the right places. But because it's running at such a low frame rate, the physics are becoming a bit unstable.
Mm-hmm.
See, this isn't a bad design. So the ship's forward. Yeah, there you go. Munched.
Wow, that was heavy.
And then broke. Maybe not.
Presumably then every connection is the same strength.
No, different armor has different connection strength. So as you go up the armor tree, not only do you get more armor, your connections become much stronger as well. There's like spring joints. You can actually have your ship like that. I don't think that was being shot. I think that was just an impact. You can actually snap the joints. Having said that,
do ballistics? Do they ricochet?
Torpedoes do. Everything else explodes on impact.
See, if they can ricochet, can they damage you?
No. You can intercollide either. I've had to do that for speed. So colliding this mass against that mass is fairly trivial, but intercolliding just means that the physics engine has far too much work to do.
That's a shame, because if ricochets could damage you, I would totally make like a big gelatinous ship that envelops the enemy and causes them to kill themselves.
Well, what you can do with that, I mean, I've got plans for future weapons, but one of the ones I certainly want to put in is a grappling hook. So the idea is that then you'll actually grapple onto the enemy and pull them in, because you've got sword blades, so you can actually build arms with sword blades on, and hopefully the ship flies into your sword blades, which they do quite a lot of the time. So right now I'm hoping to get this to beta, actual beta, by late this week, early next week, and at that point I need to work out how much to charge for it, and then actually start talking to magazines and saying this game's there, it's ready for people to get and to play. It's pretty much there at the minute, like all the data is there, but it doesn't calculate the ladders correctly because that part of the Amazon integration is not done.
You're going to be glad you used Amazon then. Is it costing you much?
No, to be honest, it's really cheap. Like, until we get a substantial amount of traffic, it's dirt cheap. I think it's, as long as you don't mind it being like 70k a second max, you can have as much as you like. But basically, by the time it starts costing money, the game will have sold enough so I can actually pay Amazon.
Right.
If the game takes off and 1 million people buy it and then nobody else buys it, and they continue to play it for the next 10 years, I might actually regret saying that. But realistically speaking, it's going to be okay.
Cool.
So
right.
yeah, I guess that's kind of it. I say it's kind of it, but I say that there's actually a lot in there that's to build ships. I mean, there are trillions of designs. As you can see, the ship on the right, they've colorized their engines. You can colorize your missiles. You can really customize your ships. I'm interested in any ideas people have got for customizing ships, because levels 7, 13 and 14 I don't have any unlocks for, so I need to work out what to put in those unlock slots. So ideas are welcome. If anybody does buy the game before it comes out from Indie City, I should put the link there. I had no one's bought it yet, but I'm vowing to put a gun in that just fires loads of coins. So if anyone does buy it, well, you've got the shields there, but they don't interact. Force fields would be, the game's about 3 years old, 2 years old, and it's quite well balanced. So at the minute, I've got a huge list of weapons I want, but I don't want to put them in.
What about like an evasive maneuver?
And it's already tried those. It will try and dodge stuff, but as you can see here, if you don't put the engines on the side or the front, the ship can just lazily lean left because it's not very well designed. So if he'd angled his rear two engines outwards, again, the thrust would have been perpendicular to the centre of mass. The ship will rotate much, much quicker. As it is, the only way it can turn is to accelerate forwards. So you've got then the counterbalance. If the ship's going the speed it wants to be, it has no way of braking. So again, those are things that... so that's where the grappling hooks and the gravity wells. I want gravity wells, mines, fighters, bombers, coherent lasers. I've got plans for squads of ships. It just depends. If it takes off and it looks like it's looks like I'm not going to go bust working on the game, but I'd really like to continue. It's so good to watch, even if you don't really have a ship. Just watching the other ships fight and going, that's crap, or ooh, I like what he's done there, and he's done that, and then seeing if you can incorporate those features into your own designs. Right,
I'm going to get a copy, make a ship, call it Skynet, leave it running all night, and see if it's sentient in the morning.
You never know, you might actually get there. So as I said today, it's available now. I don't really recommend you buy it if you like playing polished games. It's kind of not finished. Other than that, I guess we'll do there is a lovely man called Silent Dave who is supposed to be doing a trailer for it. Again, if anyone does do a trailer for it, if you get the game and you're playing it, link it to me. I'm very interested to see anything people do with that. Other than that, I'll let this fight finish out, and hopefully Si's prepared a joke for us. It's all gone silent. I'm sensing some mad Googling. Or maybe he's visiting jokes suitable for YouTube.com. Why has he built all engines that spin in the same direction? That's not a good idea. And Batman wins. Sorry, Silent Mr. Dave didn't have a chance. Thanks for listening, guys, and I shall see you again with our next video, which is either going to be FortressCraft Chapter 2 or FortressCraft 2D. So if you want particularly one of those two, put a comment and we will see about doing that next. Bye! I assume Si's broken his computer, so I shall say bye on his behalf. Oh no, wait!
Why did the chicken cross the...
Would you have to end it there? It sounds like you were... Okay,
yes.
Cool, we'll do that. Do it again.
No, just chop it at that point.
Bye!
Bye.